Hello, my name's Catfish Sushi, and I thought today I would try to share with you a recipe that's called Gumbo. There are no strict rules to Gumbo, but I will go over some basic things from what I have learned. I have learned some recipes, greatly different recipes from some of my friends that are from Louisiana, and they are radically different recipes. I will go for a base, generic type of recipe with one addition. I would like to give credit to one of my co-workers, Matt, for the idea of adding something else. Okay, very well, on to the cooking. We're going to use a basic 8-quart stock pot. I have no salt beef stock, 1 quart, chicken stock, no salt, 1 quart, 2 bay leaves, smoked andouille sausage, available in your grocer's freezer or meat cabinet, approximately 2 12-ounce bags of frozen gumbo mix, and some extra okra to put in there, in addition to a teaspoon of cayenne pepper to give it a little bit of heat. The idea being not to just make something with a lot of heat in it, but rather to make something that has a lot of flavor to it. You want something with a lot of flavor. So that's what the richness of it's about. Anybody can just dump cayenne pepper on something and make it hot. Rather, I choose to give something that has a robust flavor to it that you'll remember. So we're going to go over some basics. I hope this is not taking too long. I did want to say first, instead of starting with a roux, I wanted to start with some catfish. But since I don't have any fresh with me, we'll have to start with a roux. Okay, into the stock pot. Now I know this looks like, this is actually sea salt, non-iodized sea salt in a pepper mill, and standard black peppercorns. Iodine is a wonderful trace element in salt. It really gives it good flavor, but if you don't watch it, you can actually increase your blood pressure. Iodine in the human body, I was told by some nutritionists and dietitians, that is primarily a trace element and should be in trace amounts. Okay, first I'm going to go ahead and add my beef stock, no salt, to the pot. Then I am going to add the no salt chicken stock. Going to put in the roux. This is pre-manufactured roux that you can usually buy either online or in a grocer's store somewhere. Not going to be giving any competition to major brand name chefs anytime soon. Nonetheless, this is also for some of my friends and my brothers, indeed, that live in other countries. One of them lives just outside St. Petersburg, Russia. And I thought I would give an opportunity for some cross-cultural food. Okay, for cutting, I have a standard chef's knife. This has one edge on it that is ground down and honed down instead of having 2 edges. A proper chef's knife does not have 2 edges on it, but rather it just has one so that it cuts straight down. Also, for proper cutting technique, try to bend the tips of your fingers in, keep them back. Never put your thumb out when you're cutting. I'm really big on safety, including cooking. I'm going to slice up the andouille in about 1/2 inch to 3/8 wide little pieces. And the package said this was pre-cooked, but for food safety, always take your food to at least 185 to 190 degrees before serving it. Always try to check and make sure everything is completely cooked. I try to endorse safety not only with food but at work and other places as well. I managed to get a little bit of okra. You can also put chicken in with this. A lot of people have different recipes. One of my buddies from Louisiana told me one time that he makes the roux himself, which I don't know how to make, but that they put a very tiny amount of roux in water. Instead of using stock, they use water, and that they slow cook it at about 110 to 120 degrees for several hours with chicken in it. And just before they serve it, they will put scallions in it, green, fresh garden scallions in it, or chives, and then put a tablespoon of some kind of cola beverage in it to give it some kind of sweetness, which is an interesting twist on traditional gumbo from what I understand. So in addition to this, I also will be doing some video game shows soon and posting them as well. Rice is also associated with this food as well. Chop this up in 3/4 to 1 inch pieces. Being careful not to put the stubs in there. Okra. Good stuff for you. Really gives it a nice flavor. A lot of people insist on putting tomatoes, some do not. That's the advantage of a very versatile recipe, is that you can take something, sorry about that, bad piece there. You can take something as versatile as you possibly can, change it and make it into something wonderful. There are no strict rules for this type of recipe, so it's a lot of interpretation. Culturally in America, gumbo, from what I understand of studies, is very similar to what we would fix with tuna fish. And that is, there's no set rules of certain things. I may put mayonnaise, onions, hard-boiled egg in there. Somebody else may not. They may put relish in there. I may not. But this is just a basic idea. I would like, if someone has any recipes for borscht or pelmeni, to send me some recipes for that. I would very much like to try making some other different types of ethnic cuisines. Go ahead and put the cayenne pepper in there. Now you want to slow cook this, or at least that's what my recipe calls for, is to slow cook this at about 120 to 130 degrees for several hours. Then take a rice cooker and cook the rice separately. Reason for that is being a single male, I am able to keep this food in the refrigerator and not have the rice be overcooked from reheating and disintegrate into the food and ruin it. So that way, if I cook the rice separately, I can add chicken, which I will in a few minutes here. I can add chicken to this. I can go buy some more sausage, cook it up in a separate pot, dump it back in here, and keep the broth going for a while. That allows me to save money, and it saves time. Going to make a vegetable patch and put out some okra, and hopefully it will turn out good. Now the way to cook okra is fried, battered and fried okra. Really good stuff. Very unique in its flavor and taste. By the way, I'm wearing one of my Catfish Sushi t-shirts. This one is hand painted by one of my friends. And if I can get in touch with her, a very wonderful cartoon artist, has done lots of caricatures and she seems to be very gifted at it. I'm going to get back in touch with her and see if she can paint some more of these shirts for me. If not, I will have to order them from a website on the internet, and that could cost a little bit of money. With my video gaming, I have bought one shirt so far to award to one of my ace pilots in my video game, Flight Simulator, of the name I will not mention. By the way, I'd also like to take the time to mention at this time that I am making every reasonable effort to avoid any kind of copyright and or trademark infringements, impingements, or other types of publishing snafus. Making sure that I do not violate any types of rules and or laws. Making every reasonable effort thus far. No brand names, nothing like that. So, we've got the extra okra put in there. Go ahead and take this. Put all this in there, frozen veggies. This has the red pepper, green bell pepper, onions, and frozen okra, and I think some tomatoes in there as well. Now I'm going to go ahead and put that on the stove and start slow cooking that. And this, in addition to the bay leaves, give it a little turn of sea salt, a little bit of turn of cracked pepper, and that should be ready to start cooking. Thank you very much, and I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope that this is informative for you. Please try this recipe yourself. Let me know. Please send me letters, comments, emails, etc. catfishsushi@yahoo.com. Thank you very much, folks.